And we're live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another weekly edition of Market Rants. I'm your host, King Wabi, and today I'm joined by MisterSpread. If you guys have tuned in to our weekly Twitter Spaces hosted by myself, Mondays and Fridays at 2:15 p.m. EST and Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 4:30 p.m. EST, you'll recognize MisterSpread. He joins us on our panels alongside of our other guys, and it's great to have him here. And, today is the day after a hot CPI print. Market doesn't really seem to care, right? This is not 2022. As long as we produce lower numbers year over year, right? If we have a lower CPI print than 12 months ago, I think we're okay, right? And we're about, 8-9 days out from the halving, right? Tau just got listed on Binance. Maybe the AI sector takes another leg higher, right? We have the ETH ETF narrative coming up right after the halving. So before we officially get started, guys, go ahead and smash that like button. Unfortunately, guys, I do have to say this before we start any stream, as big tech forces smaller profiles like ourselves to encourage you guys, the audience, to go ahead and smash that like button. Brings more awareness to the channel and all that stuff. Really appreciate all the growth that you guys have helped us do over the last couple of months here on YouTube. And it's a pleasure to be joined here by MisterSpread. So, Spread, what's going on, brother? How are you feeling, my man?
First of all, thank you very much, Wabi, for having me. It's an absolute pleasure, like always, since I joined the Because the Bitcoin family on the spaces. I vibed with you fellas. You guys have been doing it very, very nicely. You've been killing it, actually. I love your spaces. I think that Because Bitcoin spaces are among the most alpha spaces in the whole crypto space. And as you see, I think there are almost the only spaces that I'm part of. So thank you for having me, Wabi. It's a pleasure to be here, and congratulations for whatever you are doing, and also the whole Because Bitcoin group. Good job.
Yeah, brother, I appreciate it, man. It's just really all about consistency, and of course inviting people like yourself that really speak eloquently on all things markets, man. So I guess we can get started on what are your short-term views going to the halving? How are you positioned? What are you viewing? I know you're a big like liquidity theory guy, right? You like to look at like global liquidity and all that stuff. And on our spaces earlier this week, you were discussing Tether coming in, and of course the halving is a few days away, so that's going to reduce the incoming supply by 50%. And if we account the ETF inflows, I mean, you're going to have a massive supply shock within BTC. And of course, if BTC does well, altcoins will go absolutely crazy.
I agree 100%. I have been following liquidity quite a lot because one of my mentors, Steve Burns, and I salute him on this occasion, has been saying some very smart things. And one of the things was that liquidity is the gas for any assets. Without liquidity, it cannot run too much or it cannot run too high. But right now we're seeing that Tether, even with the dire sentiment that we have been seeing in the timelines, so even with this, Tether is actually growing higher and higher. And I actually have the chart for Tether, so let's pick some charts because we love charts, right? I have been following this model for quite some time, and on top of it, let me clear the chart a little bit, and we're gonna come back to this, and you're gonna understand why. Since the bear market, right, and we can see that this is actually overlapped. When Tether started printing massively in 2022, we can see that also Bitcoin followed. Obviously, this is not a one-on-one. We have some deviations, right? But as long as the Tether supply was increasing, we had the sustained bull run. The moment when people started withdrawing and cashing out, we saw also that Bitcoin followed through. And in the same time, and we're gonna go back to the drawings in just 1 second. Let's just watch the chart to what happened to Bitcoin, let's say somewhere around this area. We can see that when Tether started to bottom, this was also the same time when Bitcoin started bottoming. The moment when I became extremely bullish, and we all know that we were on those spaces, was after Bitcoin went above 30,000, 32,000. We had the drop in August from 28, and I remember like yesterday because Naka was going berserk.
Yeah, calling for 8,000, man. Calling for 8,000 max Spain, man.
12,000, 8,000. It was an interesting space. Matt was there. All the good people were there. But for a certain period of time, when we dropped under 28, I said, listen, I think that this is a period of sideways. I was neutral to bearish, and I said, in order for me to become again bullish, I just want Bitcoin to go about 30,000. It went about 30,000, it went about 32,000, and since then Tether supply went parabolic, and I have been watching it actually really, really closely. And for some time right now, I'm going to go back to my initial charts. For some time right now, it has like a pace of about 2 billion each 15-16 days, but I'm leaving them like 30 days in order for me to see their supply increasing. On the 1st or 2nd of April, I think somewhere around here, they were not updating their charts, so TradingView was not updating their charts, and I said I made a post about it. And guess what? Also, Paolo, the CEO of Tether, was kind enough to reply, and I think this made the TradingView update their chart. So we just see an increase, like we see a jump in these numbers. I will do also a thread on liquidity, but please bear in mind that as long as we see that people are interested in the crypto space, they will send fiat, because let's talk a little bit about how the stablecoins are printed, and in this moment for Tether. Chexes, hedge funds, big players in the crypto space, they send wire transfers like in the hundreds of millions or billions, and Tether, hopefully one-on-one, they print the stable coins, right? So this is how the new issuance are happening for Tether market cap. And we can see that the Tether market cap is increasing. At the same time, when people are withdrawing the funds, this is the moment when we see that the market cap dropping during the bear markets, like we just saw a few moments ago. So as long as I see that the interest for the biggest stable coin in the world, and we just surpassed $100 billion, which was an important mark, and we can see that this chart is growing, and I think it's going to take, I'm going to give them 90 days to go from 106 to 112 billion. But with the very nice things that you just said right now, with Hong Kong, with old Asia being absolutely bullish, I see people talking again about the kimchi premium. It's a term that people forgot. I think that going forward, I cannot be anything else but bullish with this kind of liquidity still being printed.
Yeah, and we haven't even, like, as far as like total stablecoin.
I have it, brother. I have it for you here.
We're still not at all-time highs yet. And,
no, we're not.
And that really speaks a lot, because, you know, when you go over the timeline, people are saying, oh, retail doesn't know that we're in a bull market. It might be a bull market for Bitcoin, but even Bitcoin has basically just been ranging for over a month now, right? For about 5 weeks. And to me, right, just from what I noticed last cycle, retail did not care until BTC was over 30,000. So you're talking about a 50% increase. And if we apply that same logic, people won't really care about Bitcoin until it's over 100,000, right?
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. And I mean, just look at what retail likes to buy. They like to buy the meme coins, the altcoins. And I think Total 3 really, you know, screams a lot about what stage we are in the market, right? Like, yeah, people are coming in, but it's not like, you know, the mania that we saw in 2020, 2021, you know?
I agree with you 100%. For Total 3, because I love Bitcoin family, I'm going to give you a little bit of the alpha, which I shared in my group in Paradigm. This is the alpha that I have been preparing, and this is something that I have been watching. You know what? I'm gonna leave all the lines here. To be a more defined formula, I'm not just watching Total 3, just because we also have the stable coins, like you just very nicely mentioned, all the stable coins. So I have Total 3 minus, we take out the stablecoin / Bitcoin. This is a more personal formula, not personal. This is a more intimate formula, because you go a little bit more into depth, and you can track exactly how the altcoins market is moving without the impact that we have on the regular Total 3. So you take out all the stablecoins from the market. So you just see totals minus Bitcoin minus Ethereum, but also subtracting all the stable coins, right? So we can see that, for example, the blow off alt season, the first leg for the alt season, happened between middle of April on this formula, right? This is when the broader altcoin market surpassed Bitcoin for 2-3 weeks. After that, we had that pullback in May and the last leg up of the altcoins. So for me, this is also very constructive, like you said, is the first time after the bear market when we have higher lows. And I'm really curious if the same thing is going to be applied. And I don't like to do predictions, but based on how this is looking, I think that in the next 2 to 3 weeks, the same thing that happened in the last bull run in 2021 in April can be replicated here, and I think we can see a blast off.
Man, I hope so, man. I am fully deployed, but I do have my doubts with the left translated cycle talk, right? There's a lot of theories going on that like the cycle might end, later this year, or that we're gonna have like a massive blow off top on total 3. And it's like, if we take into account Q4, and if you can bring this up, man, feel free to do so. If we take a look at Q4, right? If we take a look at Q4 last year, if we take a look at Q4 in 2021 and in 2017, most of the upside already happens going into early December, and then the rest is just mainly distribution with a few select tickers, right? And it's like, if people are really thinking that this cycle ends later this year, then you're saying that the cycle is going to end in like 7 months or something like that. And I do hope an alt season comes, man. I really, really do. It's just a matter of like, what kind of alt season are we talking about? Like are we talking, ETH going to 6,000, 7,000 kind of alt season?
Well, let me tell you the most dangerous phrase that I know and I've learned in the last 14 years since I'm trading in the markets is this time is different. Wabi, I will never gonna go with this kind of phrase, and I'm never gonna say that this time is different, because market psychology is the same. The markets and the charts are moved by the same emotions since the 16th centuries when we had the Osaka rice market. By the way, it's a funny thing, the Japanese people had their first future rice markets in the 16th century in Osaka. So they were trading rice futures on paper, right? They were so smart and so advanced. That's why we have the Japanese candlestick patterns, and that's why I also love Japanese culture in general, because they're out of this world how smart they are. But humans' emotions didn't change for hundreds of years, and I don't think that this time is going to be different. And this is what I'm telling to my guys. Money is going to find a way to altcoins, because this is the nature of the people. Wabi, most of the market participants, like you very well said, are not here. I don't think that the critical mass of the retail is here. I think that we are still in PvP mode. I still think that we are almost the OGs here and the people who still survive the bear market. And I think that the bigger mass of people will come above 100,000, like you very nicely said it, above like 50% above the previous all-time high, which is $100,000. This is when the mania is going to start. This is when Bitcoin is going to start ranging, and I think most likely this is going to be when Total 3 is going to outperform Bitcoin.
Yeah, and an interesting pair that I came across a few weeks ago is actually Total 3 against Bitcoin. And both cycles, 2017 and 2021, that pair peaked out right when Total 3 got close to Bitcoin's market cap at the time.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like a golden nugget. So in my view, I think this cycle, at the very minimum, we're going to have Bitcoin achieve 130 to 140K, right? So that's roughly double from now, right? So
right,
that would equate to a market cap of what, like almost 2 trillion, right? So
correct.
No, actually, no, 4 trillion.
4 trillion, because it's going to be doubled in this.
Yeah. So for Total 3, that would basically mean what, like a 7x from here, a 6x, right? I think Total 3 is at like 600 billion, 700 billion, right around there.
Let me open the Total 3, also the regular chart.
Yeah, 700 billion. So that's about a 5x from here, right? So if you take if you take any altcoin outside of maybe like the top 50, multiply that by like 5, I think you have a clean 20 to 30x left. So maybe something like a Pepe, right? Like when I see Pepe touch 50 billion, I am out, completely out of the market. I'll leave 5 to 10%. And if people think that they're so bad and they can run it up and they're the bull market hero. Why can't they run that last 5 to 10% by another 10x, right? If they think that this is a super cycle. So I guess that brings me up to the next subject, right? What are your benchmarks to sort of gauge peak euphoria? Is it market cap in a certain token? Is it just like maybe something broader?
I think you nailed it there, Wabi. When it's gonna come to taking the profits, first of all, I think it's a personal preferences. I
Yeah.
think all of us have different targets, different risk tolerances, etc. But even after 14 years, I'm gonna admit here live, and this is gonna be recorded, I'm not that skilled to catch bottoms or to catch tops. I'm here for the meat of the move. So I haven't bought Bitcoin at 15,000, at 16,000, at 17. And the first time when I bought Bitcoin in the last bear market was above 21,000. And the first time when I bought my first altcoins was in early October. And I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep buying them or holding them and trading them until I'm gonna see some exhaustion signs, until I'm gonna see maybe liquidity starting being drained. There are some few benchmark which I'm looking. Plus, of course, the sentiment around the market. I'm a price action trader and I'm a market structures trader. So I'm gonna look at Bitcoin market structures. I'm gonna see if we're gonna fall into a distribution, and if after that distribution, if we're gonna recover. But even until then, I think, and of course I can be wrong, I think it's a very smart or it's an optimal approach to take profits along the way. Even now I'm about only 75% allocated, and I'm never going to be fully deployed, because even in the last bull run we saw what happened in May. So I always want to have some dry powder on the side in case we pull back.
Yeah, and if we're taking a look at what's happened to Solana, right, with failed transactions,
Right.
If people really try to time the top, what makes them think they can actually pull their funds out? In peak bull market, exchanges freeze up, they go down, chains halt. And if you're in a native ecosystem, that ecosystem can just fall apart, right? Transactions can freeze, the chain can go down. So I'm a pretty big proponent of, whenever you see an asset go from like 8 million straight to like 200 million plus, that's a good take profit zone. If you see something go from 100 to 200 million to 5 billion plus in a short amount of time, take profit. And we saw this with Celestia, right?
Right.
So if you want to pull up the Celestia chart, you feel free
Absolutely.
to do so. Celestia came out at a very weird time, right? And it came out at like 300 mil, slightly below 300 mil market cap. And it basically pulled off a 13x in 8 weeks. And look at that, dude. That was insane, right? That was a clean 13x, 14x from $1.80 to $22, right? So whenever you have such a huge advance like that, we can even see things like a Caspa, right? When you see those things go parabolic in a short amount of time, what more do you want? Because if it does another 10x, that's basically like peak cycle theory, right? Like you want it to go to 30, 40 billion, you need Bitcoin to double from there, right? So do you think for a lot of these altcoins, man, they're probably just gonna distribute and let some new names run until Bitcoin is over 100,000? And that also includes things like Injective, right? If we look at Injective, right, and from the peak and say, oh, can Injective pull off another 10x move? It's basically the top. And that thing really looks not the best for a new market participant, man. You've got what, like a 5x, a 7x left in that thing? Because we got to remember that there's also some newer names that are going to come out, right? So that thing, man, has just been bleeding against BTC, and I'm sure it'll run. But if you think that BTC is going to go to 140K, you can't just say, oh, Injective is going to go to $500 because Bitcoin is going to go crazy, because there's just so much more dilution coming into the ecosystem that for a lot of these alts, they're just going to bleed against the rest of the market, man. What are your views on that? Are you looking for new tickers and just looking at these things for like smaller time frame trades?
First of all, I also have Celestia. First of all, I also have Injective. But the market gods have been very grateful with me, because I have been heavily deployed in Fetch. I have a different approach. I'm all old school, so I go with smaller percentages. I think that in the crypto space, we have been so degen, and I'm coming from the traditional markets where in a year, if you were pulling off 35% per year, you would have been the king of the markets, if you can even imagine that. But here in the crypto space, we're not talking in when it comes to performance, we're not talking in anymore in percentages, we're talking in excess. So if you're in a bull run, for example, if I tell someone that in the last bull run my portfolio just did a 3.5x, so I was up 350% on my whole total portfolio, maybe some people will think that I'm crazy, but for me that was life-changing money. So this was my strategy, and I didn't change it also this year. For example, right now I have about 25% in Bitcoin and about 5% in some of the others, and my heaviest position was on Fetch with 10%. But coming back to this, injective, first of all, I don't think that looks bad on this chart. I think it just looks, for now, it's just ranging. If this is going to be a distribution, we need to see it breaking this area, but these lows were very well defined and very well defended, and as the same as for these highs. But I'm not surprised after such a run up. I'm not surprised for this happening. So I'll see. If we're dropping under 30, most likely we will open up again 22, 20 area, and we will see what's going to happen after. If we print another all-time high, we have a weekly close with a clear conviction above 43, we're gonna open the other area. But I like injective. The same for Tia. One of my guys did something crazy.
I'm sorry, bro, if I'm footing your bags, brother. I didn't mean to do that.
Don't worry. Yeah. If you have this power, most likely we're gonna be much more intimate than we are right now. So you're not gonna move the markets, Wabi, but it's fine. Tia looks exactly like Solana was looking in the beginning of the cycle. So let me see if I can pull this off.
We've got almost 80 people in here and only 25 likes. What's going on? Spread, we're going to have to take a moment here. We're going to have to take a little pause, right? Guys, we're going to need at least 35 likes. Smash that like button, guys. And Mr. Spread can continue sharing the alpha. I understand that we had market check about an hour ago, but it is what it is, guys. We're shelling out free content for you guys each and every day here on YouTube and on Twitter Spaces. So it doesn't take that much, only takes a few seconds. It's as simple as drinking some water. It takes half a second to click that like button. Go ahead and put some things in the live chat if you guys have any questions or anything like that, anything you guys want us to cover. So appreciate the support, guys. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. So let's see where we're at, man. Mr. Spread, the audience.
Thank you, Wabi. I don't remember which was one of the which chart was it, but it was really resembling. I'm sorry that I didn't put it out. I'm sorry that I put it on. But the first time, so Solana did something like this, dropped for some period of time, and after that just went to a smashing bull run. The same thing here. So I like what Celestia was doing. I agree with you that it did already a 20x. If we're losing 10, most likely we're gonna cover some of these areas, but I still like their narrative. Yeah, maybe some of the VCs which were involved there, they were not the best ones. Maybe the market makers. I don't care. I like it. I did my research on it. Obviously, I will see how this is gonna perform. But for now, I'm not worried about it. And I think because I want to touch about something you said regarding the alt season. I think that just people were lazy, brother. And yeah. I don't want to offend anyone, but if you already have some bags from the other cycle, or if you're just waiting in Bitcoin and Ethereum and you're waiting for the classical alt season, I think that either you didn't stay on chain, either you're not watching crypto Twitter, you're not following because Bitcoin, or the posts from people who are very, very active. Because how many times we have been talking in the last 6-8 months, brother, about different tickers? How many times I have been posting about AI? Jackie said me is exchanging, me, Max, we were talking about tickers who did absolutely smashing. Yep. So I mean, from all the flavors in the world, I'll tell people to not choose salty because that's the worst flavor that you can choose. But we had runners until now, and this also happened in the last cycle. So let me think about something. If not, this is not the one. I think I'm gonna open DOT. I don't want to food any DOT bags. I think they have good tech.
I don't hold DOT, brother. I haven't held Polkadot since like I think the summer of 2020. I played that trade when they got listed on Kraken, and then I got out of that thing. I haven't looked at it since. But
so let me just say one thing. So, and I'm happy that you're not there, so I'm not fooding your bags. But a lot of people, for example, who still held through they didn't take profits here, or on the second leg of the bull run here, most likely they have they became backholders, right? So they held all through this and all through this, and right now, because of bear market PTSD, because of all the other traumas that they have, all these people from here, they're gonna dump on the new buyers, and this is the market mentality. I'm sorry, but this is the truth. They're gonna get out, and this is gonna suppress the price. So instead of me accepting or being in this kind of victim mode, instead of staying in something that looks like DOT and Atom and most of the others, the older ones, ADA, I chose to be rich. Choose rich.
Choose rich, man. That's exactly what it's all about, guys. Thank you so much for the likes. I kind of lost my words there, man, but thank you so much for the likes.
Hold on for just 1 second.
You got a visitor?
Yeah, I have a visitor. let me just stop that 1 second, please.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just I'll go ahead and answer the questions in the meantime. All right, must-haves before Bitcoin halving. For myself, my high cap of choice right now is ENA. That's Athena. I sold all of my Solana last week for ENA at below $1. I got in at about 94.95 cents. I market bought, so that's my average, 94.95 cents. I don't regret it at all. ENA has been crushing SOL since then, and it makes up the majority of my portfolio. Outside of that, I've got some AI exposure. And from the top down, I've got NMT, I've got DEAI, and I've also got YAI. Yeah, feel free to do your research on all that stuff. Netmind token, 01 Labs, and also YAI, which is a data oracle on AI, which it's basically Chainlink for the crypto AI space. Wabi, how was the lift, you king? It was all right, man. It was earlier today, so
he's lifting the markets, guys. He's doing his best. We need to help him out.
Yeah, so just doing my best, man. Samran, what coins are good for trading according to you? Narrative so far just likes AI tokens and memes so far for the cycle. So that's the concentration of my portfolio with one high cap asset, because I just refuse to hold Ethereum or as much Solana as I have in the past. Leon, thank you so much. It's Jerome Powell at the door. That's hilarious, man. ENA.
Oh my. Yeah, he just brought some more food with CPI in it.
Yeah. Oh man, CPI. Remember, dude, do you remember how like you had Uniswap shitcoiners, right, turn into macro gurus in 2022, and they just lost the plot, completely lost the plot, even up until now, right? And the thing is, with last year, you could have been sidelined the complete, most of 2023, but right when Bitcoin broke out of 32K, you had a moment to get Injective under $10, TIA at $2, Neon at pennies, Solana at $40. There was so much opportunity, say at like 12 cents, 15 cents. So right when you had that break of consolidation, this market always likes to give you another opportunity, kind of like now, right? Like
absolutely, 100%.
If and I want to paint this scenario for you, Spread, and I understand that it might be a bit controversial for some because everyone is like super bulled up, but what say you, right? What if Bitcoin taps 80,000 and then just goes into a long 20% range for 6 months until Q4, like we did last year, right? And just to give some context, right, if we take a look at the price action so far year to date, it's very, very identical to the start of 2023, right?
Okay.
We had a big drop, to 38K, which is kind of like the Silicon Valley drop. We've had AI run, we've had memes run, and now we're in just this long consolidation where both the bulls and the bears are getting really antsy. And we saw, going into the summertime, on-chain was ripping. And I guess you can attribute, this upcoming summer to the ETH ETF narrative. So, I think that would actually be healthy, right? We just range in the summer and alts just go absolutely nuts. And then Q4, we have a massive expansion. Are you paying attention to that, or are you just simply?
I'm very on board. I'm very on board with what you said. And regarding bulls and bears, I'm very sorry for anyone who's been bearish or who is bearish right here. But one of the oldest saying in trading and investing says, "When in doubt, zoom out." So this is what I have just done. I removed everything. I went from daily to monthly. I removed all the drawings, and look like. It's impossible for me from price action. Okay, let's leave all the CPI, SHIMI, everything. Let's leave liquidity aside. Let's say we were trading orange juice on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, right? If I was seeing this chart with fresh eyes for the first time in my life, and I would look at this chart and I would knew that this is monthly, I would have to be absolutely out of my fucking minds to be bearish on something that looks like this. It's like there is no reason to be bearish. If you want to be bearish, at least wait for a monthly close under the previous all-time high. And yes, we can tap 60,000 and maybe, I don't know, 52 or something like this in this area to fill this imbalance. But as long as we have this kind of price action and we had this run up, so there were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of green candles. What do you expect? This is also such a high value asset right now in the $1 trillion. Obviously, you're also going to have I don't know even this month is going to be red, sorry, but look at this price action, and you don't need fancy charts. You don't need a lot of indicators. You just draw a line, simple horizontal line above the previous all-time high, and look what we find ourselves right now. So if someone is bearish right here, I'm sorry for you, but I just think that this is consolidation for the next leg higher.
Yeah, I would agree, man. I've got this saying: the longer the base, the higher into space, right? And ultimately, I want this bull market to be a lot more constructive than the last one. I just feel that last cycle, a lot of people got robbed on their time just because like most of the craziness happened within the first 5 months. And the second half of the year, if you weren't playing Luna, AVAX, Forks, things like that, you got crushed. And then, yeah, we had the NFT run, but it was such a closed bubble, and only Bored Apes got the spotlight, right?
True.
And that's another thing too that maybe we can talk about, man. Are you looking at like the NFT world and all that stuff, or are you just thinking that's
I am. I'm not heavy deployed in the NFTs. I have to say that I'm a noob there because I knew how to buy. I didn't know how to sell. I like arts. I bought some Gary V, some V friends. I bought some Micah Johnson, the foremost baseball player. So I bought there in Aku. So I say that I didn't make my best choices there, but I'm still near the NFT space. I'm also involved in an NFT project as an advisor. It's something with real world assets. Maybe we're gonna cover another time. But I think the same thing that is happening right now to the whole crypto space, I think that the same thing is going to happen also with the NFTs. I think that this might be one of the best moments to look into some alpha, because like BRC20s, like you guys are saying, some maybe runes. Recently, someone from my community posted a very deep analysis regarding runes, and I think this might be the next thing. So I'm really looking into the runes Bitcoin ecosystem and maybe some NFTs from that space.
Yeah, the Runes protocol, for those of you that don't know, it's going to allow individuals to deploy meme coins on BTC and things like that. I've got 2 BTC puppets that I'll probably sell here shortly, just because it was such a good trade, in my opinion. Like you're talking basically almost a 10x here, and
Jesus,
and dude, like for it to 10x from here for BTC, I'm not sure, man. I'm really not sure. And I think the market cap right now is like 300 million, 400 million, because they almost hit 0.5 BTC. And so, I'd rather just like mid curve when it comes to profits. I'd rather mid curve, left curve on entering and mid curve going out of it. Because let me tell you something, man, these easy market conditions, they won't last forever.
I agree.
In my opinion, but I see you have a line there to what, like 81K?
Before we go to that line, I just want to observe a little bit what markets have done in the past, and that's why I'm saying that the markets are cyclical, and the same patterns happen over and over again because we can see the emotions of the market participants. This was near the ETF. We had a false break in one direction. Usually a false break in one direction leads to a bigger move to the opposite direction, and here was the second false break. So it was a double false break, and here a lot of people got trapped. And when I saw the second false break, I have the backups and I have the receipts. I said, listen, this doesn't look good for the sellers. These were late sellers. And when we broke above this area, they just got liquidated. We went on this run. We printed another high above this area. And look what happened. When we were somewhere around here, I just drew this squiggly line, like some people say, but I didn't just draw it like this. When I draw these lines, I'm thinking from a market maker perspective, or some of these big exchanges perspective. How would I inflict the most, the maximum pain for both buyers and sellers? What would be the trajectory that would inflict the most maximum, the maximum pain for the market participants? And this would have been this one. So false break above, tap on all-time high, false break to the downside. And until now, I would say the market is actually quite following it up. And if I remember from the heat maps, I think between 74,000 and 76,000, somewhere in this area, it's more than $10 billion in shorts, which are going to be liquidated. When this is going to happen, I think most likely we're going to see a God candle. And with the wins in our back, for the Hong Kong ETF, I don't know if you're aware, but the South Korean Democratic Party just won the elections, and they are pro crypto and pro Bitcoin. So that's another thing. So Hong Kong and also China, they're preparing the ETFs. In the same time, liquidity, it's pumping inside the ecosystem. And like I said, I think it's just going to be a matter of time, and we're going to see another 4 to 6 billion added to the Tether market cap. You said very, very well, the whole Tether, the whole stablecoin market cap, it's still under 2021 bull run with about 13%. So we have another 20 billion to be added to the whole crypto space. Well, where do you think that this money is going to go? Mostly to Bitcoin and to the ETFs. But like I said in the beginning of this podcast, the money is going to find a way to find its way into the more riskier assets after people are going to make their profits in the more bigger ones.
Yeah, and where do you think the stablecoin market cap is going to be headed to, man? Are you looking at like $250 billion, $500 billion?
From one aspect of this cycle, it's a bit different because we have the ETF, right? So this is going to create a bigger demand. It's hard for me. I don't like to make this kind of predictions. I'll just follow up. And I'll just see when we're going to have this topping out, and we're going to see that the stablecoin market cap is going lower and lower and lower. At that point in time, maybe it's going to be the first top, or maybe the last top. But even until then, I'm going to take some profits. So to answer your question, I don't have a target. I'm just going to follow it very strictly and religiously. As long as it's going to go higher, I'm going to follow it up, and I'm going to be very bullish.
Man, if I see a stablecoin market cap hit $500 billion, dude, I would be terrified. I would be so terrified. Because if you think about it, Mr. Spread, like, yeah, the market cap for stablecoins might be 145 billion, but is there actually that much liquidity in all of our favorite tokens?
No, it's not.
Probably not. It's probably like half of the stablecoin supply, right? Because a lot of those stable coins, they're probably lost in dormant wallets that can't be accessed again.
I don't know about that, but let me give you this. When we were in the last bull run, right? So when we were starting the bull run, when we had that break above 20,000 in December 2020, and then we were sitting at 27 billion, right? If I would ask you, hey Wabi, what if the total stablecoin market cap is going to go to 150? What would you have said then?
So just to for some transparency, in February of 2019, myself and Edward, who's also a part of this team, we had a little podcast on Spotify called the Block Street Bros. And if you go to the first episode and you go to like the 20 to 25 minute mark, my target for the cycle that we were starting was 1 trillion for BTC, 60,000.
Jesus.
And yeah, and that's exactly what happened, right? Did I sell the top? No, sir. I got absolutely chopped, and it is what it is, right? But with stable coins and all that stuff, I didn't really pay attention to that. I did pay attention to DeFi Pulse, right, which is a website. I don't even know if it exists like now, but it was like the only DeFi like indicator website. Oh no, that's DeFi Llama. I was talking DeFi Pulse, and I don't know if it exists, so I don't want you to click like a phishing link or anything like that. But it was called DeFi Pulse, and back then there was like only 7 billion in TVL and DeFi, and most of that. Can you guess what chain most of that money was in, brother? Take a guess.
By then, in 2019.
Yeah, early 2019. Where was most of DeFi being held, and what was the chain that had the most TVL? Take a guess.
I have no idea.
Tron. It was
What?
Tron. Tron.
Jesus.
Yeah, because you had Tron Bet, you had Tron Roulette, and those were the two biggest dApps in early 2019. Uniswap was in conception at that stage.
Yeah, it was under $1 if I remember correctly.
No, I'm talking like the Uniswap.
Ah, the okay.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't even live. Like Uniswap didn't go live until like the second half of 2019. I could be off. Maybe we launched in like Q2, but I started using Uni in Q3, Q4 of 2019. So where I was getting at is I didn't really know about that stuff back then, but now that I have that knowledge, I would say like as we get closer to $500 million, $500 billion in stablecoin market cap, I think that's a good, probably like a risk on, risk off metric for this cycle. Because you're talking about, $500 billion in stablecoin market cap, right? And even with ETF flows and all that stuff, as you touched upon, right, you believe that this time is not different, and that is double of our previous all-time high. And if there's going to be all these ETFs where altcoins are going to be the main beneficiaries, these guys are going to have to print more money to facilitate people going in and out of these products, right?
Correct. Another thing that I want to touch upon, because we spoke about liquidity increasing, and another thing that is very, very important, and it helped me in my framework and also in my playbook, was watching the market cap of the USDT dominance chart. And this is not technical analysis. I don't believe in technical analysis on the dominance charts, but it helped me with level by levels. And one of the nights I was just thinking to overlap, and something very interesting happened when we were here, and I'm going to touch upon this. So every time when we saw actually in the previous bull run, so you take USDT dominance chart and you overlap with Bitcoin, and we can see that every time when we have these junction points and Bitcoin was going above and market dominance was going under, so we had this intersection with Bitcoin crossing above. This was the first leg high. This was the first leg up in the previous bull run. We had this retracement in June, July 2021. So this was May, and after this, obviously Bitcoin had its second leg higher. When we entered the bear market, the exact opposite happened from the previous two legs higher for Bitcoin. Bitcoin crossed under the USDT chart, the USDT market cap, USDT dominance chart went higher, and it stayed like this all through the bear market. So look at this period. Look at 1, 2, so higher, and after that Bitcoin and in the bear market. Here, and I made a very thorough thread on my timeline, and when we were here near the ETF, and I said, listen, until the 19th of February, this was my projection based on how the angle was looking for Bitcoin and also for Tether market cap dominance chart. I said, listen, until the 19th, I think we're going to have the first leg higher. And this happened. And I don't think, like, looking at this, I don't think that this time is going to be different. Plus, looking at this, I think that we're just going to go lower. What's interesting is that although we have billions and billions being printed for Tether, we don't see Tether dominance chart actually reaping higher. This tells me about these liquidity dynamics. People are pouring money into the crypto space, sending fiat to Tether. Tether prints USDT, right? And instead of Tether dominance chart just reaping higher because of these big quantities in billions of dollars being printed in a very short period of time, I think that people just go from stablecoin, they just go to Bitcoin and to altcoins. Sorry, but mainly Bitcoin. So if I look at these charts and how it happened before, I still think that we're going to go much higher from here, and I'm extremely bullish.
So speaking of dominance, do you think BTC dominance has any relevancy?
Yes.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it goes to almost 60%? Do you think it tops out here? What are your thoughts?
Can you check if Uncle Benjamin is in the chat here? Because I think he's going to like this part.
I have no idea who that is, brother.
Benjamin Cohen.
No idea, man. Never heard.
Oh, okay. That's good. So looking at this, you cannot be like I said. If I'm not looking at the asset and if I'm looking at some levels, this still looks bullish. And looking at, we just spoke right now, looking at the fundamentals, I still think that Bitcoin is going to get some love, and only a small part of the whole altcoin market, it's outperforming. Like we have the AI sector, the meme sector, etc. But the broader altcoin market, I think it's gonna have its alt season when we're gonna see the dominant share going under 50. But for now, yeah, it can tap 57. I don't know about the above this level. Let's see what's gonna happen when we're gonna touch this area, which was key here and here. And after this, I think this is where the funny part starts in a good way for the broader alt season, altcoin market.
Dude, you know what's insane, dude? Like, I'm looking at BTC dominance, and yeah, it's been going up and all that stuff. But as it's been going up, man, we had AVAX and NEAR pull off almost a 10x off of their low.
True.
And you even had Phantom pull off a 10x off of its low from October, right? And when you take a look at the high caps, right, it's really only been things like Ethereum and Matic, right, that have struggled. When we talk high caps, right? So, you know, like BTC dominance, man, is so like it could be a fade sometimes, man. You know, but like I do agree that, you know, BTC dominance, you know, going below 50%, at that point everything just goes up like crazy, right? So, you know, easy mode for retail, man. Maybe post halving, right? If you take a look at last cycle, that was the bottom for ETH BTC, and that was when dominance started to tread lower, at least for a couple of months, right? DeFi summer was pretty crazy.
Agree.
So
I think this is the first time in a lot of time, you know, that me and Jackie's had some discussions and some debates about this.
I've never called for ETH BTC to bottom until last week, where I said ETH BTC bottoms within 2 weeks post halving, and I think that's a safe bet.
Hats off to you, and I think you're not far from the truth. As you can see, it's the first time when I have bottom. This might be a double bottom right here. Obviously, it has to stay above this 0.49 area, 0.049 area. But for now, this is still bearish. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but Ethereum is still bearish against Bitcoin. But again, I'm going to bring it up, although I'm going to sound like a broken record. I don't think that this is such an indicator for success or for performance. If you're looking just at ETH BTC, in order for you to position yourself in altcoins, I think you're lazy, and I think you're missing out on some things like already performed. You said about FTM. I think Andre coming back, it's a big indicator that something is up. He's the father of DeFi, and I'm really paying attention to what he's doing, and I might even start a position on FTM on spot. Plus, I see what he did. He had an interesting post, and this is a nugget, a golden nugget for because Bitcoin and for this space. I would really watch their meme season, because I saw something on his timeline like a meme foundation, and they want to do it in a proper way. So just watch what they're doing, because we might have some interesting plays there.
So a few questions from the audience. The bottom of ETH BTC wasn't due to the halving, was due to the rate cuts in 2020. Okay. Then someone's asking, Max, can you take a look at RSR? Looking to sell to get into Andy. I'm not Max, by the way, brother.
RSR, he wants RSR.
Yeah, reserve rights.
I don't know if this is the one. I never heard about this ticker.
It is, yeah.
But I think this bottomed, right? So it was in a very, very big accumulation area. I think this is a nice playbook. Most of the altcoins, you will see that they had an accumulation period between 650 to 700 days. So I don't even know. This is the first time when I heard about this ticker, but let's see how much time this spent here. There you go. This is the regular accumulation area. It's about 650 to 700 days. It broke above this with intention, break, retest. If this holds above this, I would not get out now. I would just wait for a moment to go higher.
Then if you want, Mr. Spread, pull up ENA. What are your thoughts on that?
Extremely bullish.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Maybe the 4 hour. Yeah. Oh man, dude.
I think this was one of the best launches of this bull run, and I like the price action. So when the price action looks like this, it tells me that people are still interested in it. We had the run up, we had the very nice correction. So let me give you another piece of alpha, right? So most of the altcoins, does not matter what altcoin you're gonna pull up, you're gonna see an accumulation period between 650 to 700 days versus USDT, and versus Bitcoin is gonna be between 280 to 320 days. And now another piece of information is that after we have these run-ups, most of the time they're gonna pull back around 35 to 40%. If you cannot digest, or if you're not comfortable with 35, 40, even 50% in pullbacks on altcoins, you should just wait it out in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and BNB, because this is normal. During a bull run, we will have 5, 6 of these 35, 40% pullbacks. But after that, we're going to have these run-ups of 200, 300%. The volatility is the price you pay for performance. So I like INA. It looks very nice. I should have bought it at 1 around here, but I'm suffering for bull market syndrome, which is limited time and limited capital.
Yeah. How about DEAI?
Never heard of that.
That one's been pretty good.
Like this?
Yeah, 01 token. DEAI.
DE.
Yeah, it should be the first one. Wait.
Oh, it's looking weird there. Let's see.
It's an on-chain token, so I think you'd have to go to like Dex Screener. Yeah, you think you'd have to go to Dex Screener. It's one of I think it's been trending in the top 15 on Dex Screener for a while, and it's one of the hotter names on the AI sector. Yeah, you should see it one right there. Yeah, you just pull up the 4-hour on that thing, man. Longer the base, the higher into space.
How can I ask you something besides your I don't know how you do that with your memory. You just told me, first of all, you just told me about the space or a podcast you had in 2019 on the 22nd minute. Don't think that I forgot 1 second about what you just did. I mean, we just jumped to another topic, but that was fucking crazy, first of all. And second of all, how do you find all of this, man? I mean, this is just deep research.
Yeah, so honestly, man, it's just from being terminally online. That's what it is. I'm very OCD about everything that I do. Like, consistency is something that I strive for, like, in everything that I do. So it's like, if I'm doing one task for like the next few hours, I'm gonna go crazy. So I scroll my timeline so much that if I get like a call or a text, it just goes in one eye and out the other eye, right? Like, I'm just super concentrated, and I'm just scrolling through my usual, feed. I've curated my feed to such a point where, I've been able to get into, some Telegram groups and all that stuff, some raises. And for some of these projects, I'm not able to get into the raise, but like this one, I was very close in getting in, but unfortunately, like, I reached out too late, and I knew it was a cook, right? So if you want some fundamental analysis on DEAI, basically they're building an L1 surrounded on crypto AI, and you're going to be able to deploy dApps, and it's ready to go. They already have like dApps that are going to be launched on it over the next quarter. And I believe they also partnered with Netmind token, and they have products to go already. They have language learning models that already serve, like, in the graphic sense, where you can talk to like an avatar. They have a GPT wrapper, like all of these things do. And they're also like being visited by NVIDIA people and all that stuff. And NVIDIA has been incubating a lot of these crypto projects. So for me, I like to look at volume. So this thing has been doing, almost 10 million volume as an on-chain token for a while now, right? And the price action has been held up. And again, like, there's no other L1, right, that's going to have products ready to go. You have Tau, but You're not actually going to be able to use Tau, right? So nobody cares about what Tau does, right? So it's
Right.
like, all right, maybe we want to look at something that does have products ready to go, because as we saw with Luna and AVAX and all that stuff, they had products ready to go and they ran pretty hard. So if I'm bullish on Tau, right, I'm going to be bullish on this stuff, right? I'm going to be bullish on DEI. I'm going to be bullish on NMT. They both have incredible on-chain volume. They both have insane communities. They're consistent in their updates. So that's one thing that I look at too, right? Like if I see like something that I'm interested in, I'm like, all right, let me see the community. Let me see how the community reacts once there's like a major dip, right? And this thing has had pullbacks, right? It had a pullback from 88 cents back down to like 48 cents. It's had a pullback more recently from, 120-ish down to like 70 cents or something like that. And, if there's a rebound and if there's like more announcements and all that stuff, if there's more of a narrative that's occurring, right, and the narrative evolves and all that, then to me, it's like, it's a no-brainer, right? If I think Tau's going to go to 1,000, what does this thing do, right? And,
Easy 5x, 5 to 10x.
Yeah. And there's no major supply coming onto the market until like January of next year. So for me, short-term targets for DEAI, it's probably like a 2x from here, right? A 2x from here, going into like mid-May, something like that. Basically, the ETH ETF narrative, right? I do think there's going to be a massive rally on alts right after the halving, going into the denial or the approval of the ETH ETF. So another one is NMT, right?
You want to talk about, if you want me to, I can give you a bit of context here. So we had the accumulation, we had the run up. Now looks like a very nice falling wedge. I think that after 0.8 and 0.9 are going to be breached. I think the 2x that you're talking about is just a matter of time. The first target 1.03, the all-time highs with the liquidity pocket here, and after that it's just going to blast through this. So fuck, this is a very good find. So I would not I would not be surprised if you're gonna see this run up here. Very nice point. I like it. I like what I see here. I like the holders, the volumes, liquidity, market cap. Makes sense. Plus what you said on the fundamental side.
Yeah, another one is NMT. If you want to check that out, we can make this like rapid fire charts if you want to do.
Sure.
Like,
NNT.
NMT.
Yeah.
You should see it. Yeah, that one right there.
I think we have it on TradingView also, but
yeah. You'll see that they have like a little hack. So this one I found at under $1, but I was so focused at that time with things like Dimension. I was in FAT. I was in Airweave. No, not Air. Yeah, I think it was Airweave. Yeah, it was Airweave. And Render and all that stuff, that I completely faded this thing until they had that hack. You'll see they had a massive drop.
Yeah.
That massive drop and that little consolidation. I got in at about like $5 or so, right? So, I thought, this thing has products ready to go. They have a huge narrative. All their team is docs. They've been in the AI space for years and years and years. And I think there's something to be said where, if there's a narrative in TradFi and you can bid on beta within crypto, to me, it's a no-brainer, right? Just like in the COVID run, right? We had, the meme stocks run, right? Meme coins ran hard as well in that cycle as well. So I think AI crypto is mostly a meme, right? And that's fine. Right? We're here to make money, not to be right on
absolutely.
like on narratives that may or may not be here 20, 30 years from now, right? If you really want to check out something that's gotten absolutely crushed, right? If you actually want to look at deep value, right? Why AI is one. Why AI? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That one got absolutely decimated from the top. But, if you're looking to get into a low cap AI token, this to me screams opportunity in my book.
Interesting.
And quick fundamental on this, man. They're just doing Oracle work in the crypto AI space. And some of their team has worked there for Fortune 500 companies, right? So chart looks absolutely atrocious. I think I might double down on this one. And
let me tell you what. Let me tell you one thing. When the charts look like this, and this is for everybody here in the audience, when something is very obvious, like for example, because I have my eyes already trained for this, this looks like a very nice head and shoulders. Most of the time, people are expecting for this neckline to be broken and to go something like this. Most of the time, the market does something like this. So don't get caught on the wrong side of the trade, especially when you have such a small market cap. I think you're right. This looks interesting. It's in the AI sector, and on such a small market cap. This looks like an interesting allocation.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. I guess, I think we have time for 2 more charts and then we can wrap it up here, man. Somebody wants us to chart AKT. Do you know?
It's on Dex Screener. Just let me know if it's on Dex Screener or on TradingView.
It's on TradingView.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to share the charts right now. And after I share the chart, if you can tell me one more time the ticker.
Ticker is AKT.
AKT. Oh, I think this is Akash Network, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, let's remove the drawings. Let's see it with some fresh eyes. Automatic L weekly chart. You know what? These are the charts, and I was about to tell you another thing. So we watched DOT, and we saw how many backholders it has. But this was the difference because Fetch, for example, when I bought in Fetch, it was 0.97, and at 1.2 was in price discovery. So I'm much more inclined to hold something that does not have a lot of backholders. For example, DOT. And I'm just picking DOT because DOT was something like this, right? So all those people were dumping or they're going to get out at the first sign because of all this trauma. But if I look at Akash Network, this chart screams for me, like you're saying, it just screams opportunity because it's very close to an all-time high. So after it stayed in this long accumulation area and we see what happened there, it had that run up. And right now it's very close to an all-time high. I like it. I like the chart. I like how this is looking. And after we're going to have the rebound and after the market is recovering and Bitcoin is going to find its footing and maybe Ethereum is going to run, I'll want to be in something that looks like Akash Network, because even if I buy here, or if I'm going to buy higher, even I'm going to buy around $6 because I'm going to want to buy with the premium. I don't want to buy it like on a falling knife. Let's say I'm going to get in at $6. There are not going to be so many people. So just between 6 and 8.5, just these people might sell before I'm going to make my profits. But after that, it's clear blue skies. In price discovery, there is no natural resistance, and this can fly much higher than here.
Spread, I'm sorry if I'm like laughing right now. Tucker is just sending me the most ridiculous things ever, brother.
No problem. Just fire away. What is this? What is he saying?
So there's this like disgusting meme coin, dude. It's called the faux far. It's the most
faux far.
Yeah,
only Tucker can find something like this.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's like one of the Pepe verse memes. But yeah, it looks disgusting.
If you're asking me regarding this right now, let me double check. I only have one indicator that I'm using from time to time, and that's it. Yeah, I will not buy it here. If I look on daily, if I look on weekly, if you're buying here, you might digest another 20-30% drop, but risk reward, this looks like very nice. I'm really curious if the theory that I just said, it applies. Look, so this is like 770. No, because this is not where it dropped. It dropped around this area. So this was, again, 700 days of accumulation. We had the run up. Guys, this is the playbook. We are giving it to you right here. 2,000% from the lows, obviously. And right now we have a lot of 40% drop. If you want to get in something like this, you can start DCing into something like Akash Network if you're having fundamentals on it. Because like I said, this looks good. I don't know the supply. I don't know the fundamentals on it. But this would be something that I want to be in because I don't have so many people at so many higher levels dumping on me, suppressing the price in future moves. That's why you see something like DOT, Ripple, Litecoin for now. At any rally that they have, Atom, at any rally that they have, the rally just lasts about 20-30% because those people just get out. That's the backholder coin mentality. And they're old tech. You just have to focus on the new narratives and just stay on those narratives and play them as long as they last.
That's what it's all about, man. Fresh tickers usually outperform. So, yeah, guys, we've been streaming for about an hour now. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. Go ahead and subscribe if you enjoy this content. My name is Wabi. I host these streams once a week on the Because Bitcoin YouTube channel, and I'm also on Market Check about once or twice a week. That show is hosted, as you guys know, at 11 a.m. EST. And I also host our Twitter Spaces Mondays and Fridays at 2:15 p.m. EST, and Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 4:30 p.m. EST. So, Spread, any last words, man, before we officially close off here?
Yes, I want to thank you, first of all, you personally for bringing me up on Spaces on Because Bitcoin, the whole Because Bitcoin fam, for what you guys are doing. It was a phenomenal run until now, and I think this is just the beginning. And if there is something that I want to end with, please be humble to everybody. Don't think that you're smarter than the markets. Take some profits from time to time. Take care of your health. Take care of your family. And when you're successful, just build a longer table, not a higher fence. That's it from me.
All right, that's what's up, man. All right, guys, take care. If you enjoyed this content, smash the like button, smash the like button, smash the like button. Go ahead and turn on bell notice to keep up with all of our content, our lives, all of our curated and formatted content, and check out descriptions down below for our products, things like that, and check out our website and all that good stuff. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you all so much. I'll see you all tomorrow on Market Check at 11 a.m. EST, and then on Spaces on Monday at 2:15. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Peace out, brother.
Peace.
Bye.